What is up, guys? My name is Marco Seabrook. Welcome to Rise and Elevate podcast. And this week I got interview 13, the legend, the myth, the movie reviewer himself, Adam Olinger. So excited, man. If y'all don't know, he's part of Adam Does Movies. If you see in the description down below, I put his YouTube channel, his Patreon, and that's what it's called, right?
Patreon, yeah.
Yep. And everything else. So follow him. He also has merch. So it's just exciting. Thank you, bro, for hopping on, man.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't even know where to start. I've been studying this man for the past week. We were supposed to do it last week. We had some little differentials happen, and I'm just glad everybody's health is okay.
Yep.
We're good. We'll just start off where we met too, because I like to bring that up. I think the whole scenario is crazy. If you don't know by now, catch me at your local movie theaters at Azalea. I've been working there lately, and I was doing concessions, and then he came in, and I saw him, and I felt his energy, like it was very strong.
Sparks flew, emotions ran high.
Yeah, and then the comedian side came out, and then it was like, oh yeah, I gotta get this man's information. I don't even know what he does, but it's like I have to talk to this man. So again, man, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So let's go start off to the basics. So what's your name? I know I've already said it, but what was your birth name, man?
Adam. Yeah, it's very exciting stuff. Yeah.
Black Adam?
White Adam,
White
actually.
Adam.
Yeah, the new movie's coming out.
Right. That's cool, though. So where are you born at? Where were you raised?
I was born in Minnesota. You probably can hear some of the accent.
Bit, yeah. It's
whenever you say Minnesota, it's like the most...
Minnesota.
Yeah, you can't say it without having that little Fargo dialect come out. I lived there for, up until just a few months ago when I moved to South Carolina, and I think I made more movie friend connections just going to the theater where you were than I did for, decades over in Minnesota.
So was it always a natural thing to just go to the movies because we met there? So since you were born 5 years old type deal?
Yeah, pretty much. I remember, when my sister was born, she's 10 years younger than I am. I remember my dad taking us to True Lies when she was in a Carrie thing, and she ruined. God, we got to the part where Jamie Lee Curtis is hanging off the bridge, and you get that beautiful cleavage shot, and then my sister started crying. It's like she wanted to ruin it for us, so we had to leave. But so
that made you.
My father's been taking us to movies since we were babies, is what I'm getting at.
No, that's dope though, man. Because it's a lot of people have never even been to the movies now.
That's crazy.
Dude, it's absurd. Not absurd in a bad way, but just wow.
It's in a lot of ways it's turning into video rental stores where everything's streaming right on your TV,
taking over. So after that experience going to the movies and stuff, where'd you go to high school? What did you go to college or anything?
Yeah, I went to Monticello High School in Minnesota. I went to Brown College, which when you say Brown, people assume it's the university, but no, this was a 2-year associate degree, get in, get out, scam college, basically. They were closed down a couple years later.
What?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
You got what you got?
I got my foot in the door because we lived in Arizona for 2 years and then we moved back to Minnesota. But my wife and I moved to Arizona. I got my first job there as a graphic designer for a web firm. That's what I actually do for a full-time job. But the boss looks at my resume and he's like, "Brown man, huh? You're from Brown?" I didn't correct that. I'm like, yep. He thought I was Ivy League. He's like, I'm a Stanford guy myself. I'm like, should I be mad at this guy? I don't know.
You would look at you and think that.
That's all I got from the degree, and that's all I needed. But
that's cool. Yeah. So now that you got your degree, what was after that? Was it I'm gonna start doing YouTube?
No, I did. I was just kind of. We were raised very conventional, my wife and I, where it's you get a job, you get married, you have kids, the lamest. I love my parents, but that's just kind of how you were. That's how you were raised. I don't really feel that way anymore, but I just want the best for my kids, no matter what they do.
As you should.
But I was just focused on work and paying the bills. It wasn't until we moved back to Minnesota and I started arguing with a coworker of mine, about some films where I just said, why don't we just do this in front of a camera? Make it a more modern Siskel and Ebert. So Corey, who I did the show with for the first 2 years off and on, he was my co-host, and we would just pick a movie and debate it. And we were trying to make it fun, like Siskel and Ebert, but a little bit more updated, swearing, insulting each other more. It did decently well, but the problem was he wasn't really seeing movies, and he wasn't really into it like
So
I
it's kind
was.
of one-sided.
It was very when I was doing the filming and the editing and coming up with the ideas and the promoting. So we eventually just were like, all right, how about I just do it and no hard feelings, and we remain friends to this day.
What year was this? Like, where would you calculate?
Oh my God, this was probably, I've been doing YouTube for probably a decade, so it was probably 2012 around then.
Wow.
It's been on and off though, because during that time I had two kids. One of them, yeah, thanks. My daughter was 3 months premature, so she didn't sleep for like a year straight.
Wow.
So I wasn't really doing the show then. It was just too hard, especially with a job and everything. But
I still give you props for
I appreciate it.
Like, watching your stuff, it's remarkable.
I mean, so yeah, the channel has changed about 50 times over. It was called Movie Feuds, then I changed it to Fued Nation after that, because I was going to do all sorts of different things, not just movie stuff. And then finally I focused in on, okay, YouTube really doesn't like when you do everything. They want you to be
one
focused.
thing forever.
Yeah. Right.
So when it started with Movie Feud, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, it was Fued Nation.
Yep.
And then what was after that?
And then I went to Adam Does Movies.
Okay, that's dope. So let's start off with Movie Feud. What would you feel like you've learned the most from it? Because now that you're Adam Does Movies, I know you still think about, where you first started. So what have you learned that you can translate?
I don't know. I don't know if I've really learned anything yet.
Hey, you'd be surprised because I learned from you just off seeing your videos, man.
I mean, the biggest takeaway for YouTube, at least in general, I can't speak to other platforms. Maybe I can. It seems like they really want you to just do one thing, and then within that one thing there as well. So it's Adam Does Movies, but then they just want me to do reviews. So my channel, I do like 4 different shows right now. I refuse to play the game too much, and I know it hurts me in the long run, but as a creator, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself as just, all right, I'm doing movie review today, and I'm doing movie review on Thursday, But if you look at the successful ones, that's exactly what they do. Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckman, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of them, but they basically just do one show type, same background, same style, and success.
So is there one YouTuber that you looked up since 2012-ish, that you've got inspired to do this even more?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of YouTube.
Who would you name?
I wouldn't say they are today still, but Nostalgia Critic, I don't know if you remember him. He was great because he basically just sat in front of a blank wall, and for a half hour he would just rip the shit out of an 8. Can we swear on this? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Rip the shit out of an 80s or 90s childhood classic.
Right.
Sometimes obscure, sometimes not. And he just had this comedic style to it. Siskel and Ebert was a huge inspiration for me, the critics. So I kind of wanted to pair what Doug Walker was doing, the Nostalgia Critic, with them. You had guys like Angry Video Game Nerd. I think most people know who that is. Red Letter Media, are you familiar with them? Mm-hmm. Okay, so those guys are hilarious. It's just 2 dudes. They do a lot of
movie reviews.
These guys do movie reviews. Yeah, same with the Nostalgia Critic, and I guess Angry Video Game Nerd does as well. But they just did skit-based stuff. It was really funny, really polished. And they're still doing it. They're killing it, though. They have millions of subscribers.
Hey, you'll be there soon, man. It just takes time and consistency.
Yeah.
You've already put in all the work, you know what I mean? So it's just a matter of exposure and then staying consistent, And that's kind of why I wanted to reach out to you, because we need to be together. In order to grow as a community, you have to come together and show love, even if you don't know each other. And that's kind of why the world is, crumbling down as we speak. Speaking of crumbling down, let's talk about the movies that you've been doing. Do you feel like the movie industry has gone down drastically since you've been a kid?
It's funny because you have to kind of separate different things. You have the nostalgia side of things.
Right.
When you're a child, things just look better, you don't really have that critical eye you do as an adult. You haven't seen the same style of movies repeated ad nauseum. So of course there's a jaded side, but there also, I think, is the fact that a lot of these companies are just becoming larger and larger and smaller in terms of how many there are.
Right.
So Disney now owns Fox. Disney owns probably part of ESPN, and then different subsets. And then you have Warner Brothers and HBO Max and that whole bizarre thing with Discovery. They're all merging. So you're getting more of a I guess a corporate feel to movies coming out where it doesn't seem genuine like it used to.
Right.
When Spielberg made Jurassic Park, I mean, there's art on the screen. You know, obviously it made tons of money. But when you look at Jurassic World 45 or whatever, it seems like marketing.
Yeah.
It seems
so
like
do you think like
committee based.
the industry has changed from being authentic to money?
I think that it's changed more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously money is always the driving factor for any movie to be profitable, but I think that there was art and money kind of paired, whereas now I think one is way outweighing the other. And it sucks. Obviously there's still great movies being made. I mean, A24 does a lot of cool stuff. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it misses spectacularly, but at least they're trying and they're investing in different creators with different voices. Yeah, we talked off camera about Nope, the new movie.
Yeah, the movie.
I mean, that's Peele, right?
Right,
He's making all sorts of crazy cool movies, and he's being rewarded for it.
Except Candyman, I didn't think I thought
he just produced that.
Yeah. Oh, he did.
He just threw his producer. That's just a producer cred.
If it's Jordan Peele, I know it's some suspense, and I didn't feel any type of suspense.
Peele's only directed, I think, written and directed 3 movies.
Which is the Get Out, Nope, and then the
Us.
Yeah, those were all 3 bangers. So, let's move over to movie directors and stuff like that. Who do you get inspired by the most when you watch the movies? Like, what director or film do you think is like, this is the go-to? I already know it's going to be 10 out of 10. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm not as huge into directors like I was back when I was a kid, like maybe a high schooler or a college student.
So now it's actors?
I don't go that far either. I just kind of judge each movie now as a separate thing. I don't even really notice the director as much. Obviously, there are people that stand out. Christopher Nolan, I don't think ever misses.
Yeah, I know who that
We talked about Peele. He doesn't really miss so far. M. Night Shyamalan, I just think he's funny. His movies
What movie has he done?
He wavers between really brilliant films and just complete disasters, but I will always go to his movies. So he did Old recently, which is the one where the people are standing on the beach.
Yeah.
Just a narrative mess, but it's kind of fun all the same.
Right.
But like his big one was The Sixth Sense. He did Unbreakable.
The Alien, right?
That was the Ghost one. He did the Alien one as well, though.
Wow, that was
Signs.
Yeah.
I love Signs.
Yeah, me too.
The Village, Lady of the Water. He's probably done 20, but then he also did the Avatar Last Airbender movie.
That was
just a disaster.
That was money. That was money.
That was just bad.
That was when Avatar was just going viral at that point. Like everybody's watching Nickelodeon.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
God, that show's so good too.
It's amazing.
One of my favorite shows ever. Just full stop.
So do you watch like shows on your off time and stuff like that?
I try that.
I mean, or anything like that.
Like, to speak to what you were saying about the industry changing, it feels like because of streaming services and because of all the competition with the different platforms, everyone needs their hit show. Everyone needs their Stranger Things, their Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
I mean, brilliant shows.
And they're
like
all
Breaking Bad.
different channels now that I think about it.
And they have to keep you tuning in and wanting to subscribe to the app. So movies are kind of like, it seems like a lot of the talent's going to TV shows. So I'm trying to watch both in tandem, and it's a lot to keep up on.
So what's your favorite all-time movie or TV show?
I don't know if I have a favorite all-time.
I know you've seen a lot of movies.
Yeah, I think I have a list on Letterboxd of like my top 10, and they are pretty basic. Like, it's funny, I'm not like a film snob. I am very specific about what I like, and I'll tell you why I don't like something and do. No. But I also don't claim to be like this hoity-toity better than anyone. I have equally bad taste.
Have that voice to be able to critique movies. You know what I mean? You do it to where it's a fashion of like, oh, you're right, bro. Right. I wanted to say that, but I don't know how to say it. You know, we'll dig deep into that too.
But to answer your question really quick, I'd say like the basic bitch movies I really love: Jurassic Park, The Matrix, Fight Club, Seven. Like David Fincher, man, early David Fincher, freaking fire.
So actor-wise, that's your favorite too?
Well, director-wise, David Fincher did Seven, he did Panic Room, he did Fight Club, he did The Game, he did Social Network, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Crazy.
He's done, I mean, everything he touches is pretty much gold.
Dude, that social media one?
Social Network,
I saw that one. That was crazy.
Yeah.
So when you do your reviews, let's dig into that. When you do your reviews, like I've noticed that you critique even the shadow on a art. Like, dude, that's amazing. Like, you're digging deep in your reviews. It's not like you're just like, storyline, actors, doom, that. No, you dig deep into the soundtrack. Dude, what gave you that idea? Where'd that start from? Like, was that just something you naturally just happened?
I don't know if it's just when we were doing movie feuds, we really would break down. We had rounds. If you've seen movie feuds, you know that there's round 1 cast, round 2 story, round 3 production. We even broke it down to music and effects, but I think that that's just kind of the bare bones skeleton of any movie you go to. So when I'm watching the movie, these are things that are just kind of in the back of my mind, like, wow, how did they do this? How did they get this shot? Nowadays with films like Thor, Love and Thunder, I don't know if you saw that one.
I heard about it.
Shit show.
Yeah.
But kind of some of the illusion and magic's gone because you know that they're just actors in front of a green screen. And that's it. That's as far as you need to take it. Someone made it on a computer. All right.
Yeah.
But when you see a movie like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, for instance, where you have an animated character walking around with a real tray of food, interacting with another real actor on a set that's both animated and real, then you're like, wait, how did they do this?
That's insane.
And that's what takes it to another level. And so I look for that in movies like Nope, when we saw them. You know, how did they do this shot in the sky with this UFO thing flying? Is it CG? Did they use some puppeteering later on?
It looked real. It was not like, yo, that's fake. You
or
know,
like Mad Max Fury Road. I don't know if you saw that.
And then when they're in the dirt road or the
the storm. I mean, I was blown away. I was blown away.
I think that was live.
By how much CG was in that movie. I mean, they showed behind the scenes.
CG properly? Sorry, I want to make sure.
Computer generated imagery.
Okay.
Computer generated. Yeah, I say CG for short sometimes, but. They're driving in the desert, and you have these giant canyons around and everything. Well, they show what it actually looked like, and they're driving in like a dirt road.
Yeah.
There's no mountains, there's no canyons. They added all that in post.
What?
Yeah, and that's sort of like, okay, that's awesome.
I see why they get paid big bucks to do that,
right.
You know, because that's not easy.
Right.
So after you've learned that, like, what made you shift to do all these different things, though, from movie feud to Fued Nation,
sure.
How to movie. What made you make that change? Like, was it, you know, not reaching what the goals you wanted to do, or you just wanted something different? I know we all wake up and we want to do something different.
This channel wasn't really growing how it should have been. It wasn't gaining subscribers, and I was just kind of looking at the analytics, and I was seeing that, okay, people enjoy this, but then if I post that, which completely unrelated, I'll actually be losing subscribers. People will unsub. And then I just kind of thought about myself and how I look at things online, and it's true. You follow someone specifically because you watched one of their videos, and you're like, I like that, subscribe. Then a couple of their videos come out later, and you're like, wait, that wasn't anything like what I liked. I'm out.
Subscribe, yeah.
So my hope was to make shows that are in the movie space, but are more on my personality and less on necessarily the topic. So even though I'm doing movie reviews, poster critique, skit shows that are based around movies, you're still getting me every time. It's not like some, I don't know, it's not like some other conversation taking place or other topic. Yeah. So
have you ever thought about, because I've seen your videos, you ever thought about collabing with somebody else? Because I see you tried to do it and stuff like that. What happened? Are you going to bring that back, or you ever thought about it?
I collab very rarely. It's not because I don't like collabs. It's because it's time consuming to just get people together to do these things. Even if it's just sending them emails or messaging back and forth. It takes a while. When I collabed a lot on movie feuds years ago, and it did help grow the show. But collabs usually are a one-way street, at least in my opinion. They have been, where I'll have someone come on, and then the phone never rings to go on their show.
Happens all the time.
And so it helps them more than it helps me.
Yep, and that's why I'm trying to do Rise Elevate Pod. I don't mean to cut you off, but why I'm trying to do this podcast, because we have to come together. Like, I feel like a lot of people bash somebody else because they're progressing. Yeah. Like, just because that person's doing good, you should be sharing them even more. Like, so yeah, no, and that's why I tell everybody, guys, please look him up. Adam Does Movies on YouTube. Very talented guy. And I just have to say that because I was blown away whenever I watched your stuff.
I
like
appreciate
after
that.
The movies that night, I was like, this is somebody I want to look up to. Like, I could look at your content and be like, dang, the confidence you have, the smartness that you put in your videos.
It's all performance.
Dude, that's... Go watch the videos. Like, So once again, though, I kind of wanted to recap before we end it
Sure.
off. Do you think that you could be yourself at the end of the day?
Oh, I'm always myself, yeah. It's just maybe a little bit more elevated than my more lame self when I'm at home with the kids, but yeah, always myself.
That's cool. And do you do like, you know what I mean, anything to like, not say for the community, but like to give out to teach other people what you do? And, you know, I suggest it because a lot of people would be interested to try to do what you do, and that could bring back movie reviews, and that could, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People get inspired by that. But like I said earlier off camera, I might have said it earlier, but since COVID happened, the movies have kind of just went, and that makes Hulu boom. That makes HBO go big. So it's like, if you teach other people the talent, then there's only going to be one originator. Because I'm not going to lie, after meeting you and just seeing everything, I don't want to hear about no other movie review. Because they do not go in depth like how you do. And it blew me away. If you haven't already watched the 1990s and what was it, 2007, 8?
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, one of the most it's the recent one. Go check out that video. That's my favorite video so far. He killed it.
That's funny.
It's
I can't even watch that old stuff.
No, it's just, dude, I like it. I like the authentic, you know, that's why I ask everybody at the end of my interviews, can you be yourself? Because at the end of the day, I know you are. Yeah. Okay? Because this man right here, it's the legend, the myth. I know half of y'all who've watched this have seen him because you're trying to go to the movie theater trying to figure out if it's worth going.
That's
so,
right.
When do you drop your videos? I know that we'll talk about that real quick.
I'm trying to get my schedule figured out, but I mean, it's basically Monday through Friday now.
Yeah, I was about to say, you've been dropping content every day.
I'm actually putting together like a scheduled release of specific content now. So Monday is poster breakdowns. Tuesday is my dumb debates where I just argue with my other half. It's a skit show. Wednesday is a movie review. It's usually done by the community. So if you're a Patreon member at a certain tier, you can actually force me to watch and review a certain movie.
What's the name of your Patreon again?
It's just Adam Does Movies on Patreon. Thursday is a different show. Oh, it's a tier list. So I rank, I think this week I'm ranking the Predator movies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I think that's going to be good.
And you know what? Honestly, I like most of them.
Yeah,
even the bad ones, I'm pretty soft on. Yeah, I'm pretty soft on the bad ones.
Because you got to think about alien movies. I don't mean to, you know, stay off topic, but when it comes to alien movies, if it looks fake, then it's garbage. You know? But if it looks like real, like all the Alien versus Predators and Aliens and Predator or whatever, it's crazy. Yeah. So now that we
I was gonna make one point you said about teaching people. Yeah. So I'm on Twitch as well at Adam Does Movies.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
Once in a while, I will actually do a live filming, which is a disaster. It's a glorious mess. Right. I turn the camera on and then I'm stumbling. I can barely say a sentence straight, but people can see what goes into it. And I'll even do live editing on there as well. So.
I think I watched one of your video about doing that. Because I think I looked at your Twitch. I was going to ask you game too, right?
Yeah, I'm playing.
Do you play that faithfully, or is it just when you can?
So I'm trying to do Tuesday nights. So tonight after Smile, when I go to that, I'm going to go home and I'm going to stream, what is the game? Ready Dawn or something? Something Dawn. It's the scary one. Oh, wow. Yeah, it came out like 2016, but... that's a fun one because it's very cinematic and you just make choices and the people can die.
I need to get you connected with my co-host Frank. He's been editing. I have another gaming platform and we have 8 streamers who stream loyally.
Oh wow.
So I definitely want to talk to you when this camera stops. But he was supposed to be co-host today, but he's been editing all night because he does Paper Mario.
Oh, nice.
All these different games. Zelda comes out soon. So
yes, the new Zelda.
So I think we definitely need to collab. If you're interested in gaming and you love gaming, please reach out to us at Rise Elevate Gaming. We are looking for potential streamers non-stop. The new Call of Duty's coming out. We need you, okay? So yeah, we're about to start doing reviews too. You kind of, you know, I always represent who I got the idea from.
Sure.
But not necessarily, but now it's like I study, you know what I mean? And we want to start doing gaming and review games and stuff like that. But no, that just takes time. Thank you again for coming on here.
Thank you.
It means a lot. If you haven't already, subscribe to Adam Does Movies. He's on Twitter too. He's on Instagram. He's on Patreon. Trying to get them on Snapchat. I know y'all. That'd be cool to get a little bootleg of the movie and the thing.
Yeah.
Get the sneak peek. I'm scared. Don't do it. I love every single one of you guys. Remember, be yourself. Never ever fail on your dreams. Reach out to go get it. Nobody else is going to do it but you. You have to want this every single day, and this is life. Okay? I love every single one of y'all. #RiseToElevate. Peace.